Live, local, trusted. This is WKYT News.
Now on WKYT News at noon, new information in a case of carbon monoxide poisoning that hospitalized 10 people. We sit down with a doctor who explains why you should double check your home. Plus, a family continues their 40-year fight for justice after the murder of one of their loved ones. And all eyes are on the Cats tonight. Two teams will take their respective courts with national implications. Welcome to WKYT News at noon. We are live on air and streaming on WKYT Plus. I'm Christine Kennedy. We are looking at another chilly day out there, but hopefully, Jim, that snow is stopped for parts of southern Kentucky, southeastern Kentucky.
Yeah, they needed the break because that's where we had all the accumulation this time. And what's going to happen the rest of the day, we're probably going to see a few more flurries. That's about the extent of it. But we get into the weekend, we got this Sunday, Monday system. It has potential to bring more snow. And then you got another system later on in the week that has potential to bring more snow. So it stays action-packed here over the next little bit. You look into downtown and it is... it's just a gray day. I mean, you're looking at the skies locked in with the cloud cover. Temperatures are still cold. I mean, we're below freezing. Lucky for us, we don't have a lot of wind out there to drive the wind chill down deeper. But again, it still feels like 30 degrees outside. A lot of us are sitting around freezing. Most of that happening here in southern Kentucky or warmer, though. I mean, 36 Somerset, 35 Monticello, 38 in Harlan, right there in the mountains, 38 degrees. And then we look at a little moisture left over. A little pocket here, a little pocket there. That's about the extent of what's happening and what's left. So we're not getting any new significant accumulation or anything that resembles that. Everything's winding down, but we do have to focus in on that next chance, which will start showing up as we cruise into the second part of the weekend. So we head through the rest of the day. You're going to see moisture's gone. You're going to see our numbers. 35-ish, maybe a little warmer than that. Tries to get warmer in southern Kentucky too. But look what happens as we get into your Saturday. We get a little more cloud, not a little. We get a lot more cloud cover in here. You don't catch a break in that. And then there's moisture that starts showing and flexing a little bit north of our area. Some showers, some snow also associated with that. And it will likely make a little run across Kentucky. But to what extent do we get any accumulation from that? Well, there's a shot. I'll look at that a little closer. Coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Jim, thank you. We do have an update to the carbon monoxide situation that hospitalized 10 people on Dorchester Place yesterday. Lexington fire crews say the building included apartments under construction. The cause was a diesel heater that was not properly ventilated. Firefighters say this case is a reminder, check your home. Health professionals say it's equally important to make sure that you're safe from carbon monoxide poisoning. WKYT's Amelia Lee talked with a local health professional about what you need to keep in mind, especially during the winter. She has our top story at noon.
It's known as the silent killer.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas, and it's frequently found in smoke and exhaust fumes.
Dr. Patrick Grace with UK Healthcare says when the weather gets colder, it's important to get your heating appliances checked.
When you're exposed to carbon monoxide, it keeps your hemoglobin from being able to transport oxygen like it should.
Carbon monoxide is undetectable by all of your senses. That's why Dr. Grace says it's so important to have a proper detector before things turn deadly. Early symptoms mirror the flu. This includes headaches, fatigue, shortness of breath, nausea, and dizziness.
They don't all mean that you have carbon monoxide poisoning. However, if you've got a carbon monoxide detector in your home, then you can feel more confident if it's going off that maybe your symptoms are related to carbon monoxide.
Dr. Grace says some patients with carbon monoxide poisoning come in after their detectors go off. Others are found unconscious in their homes.
Carbon monoxide poisoning is typically fatal when somebody is in a situation where they are getting sick and then they become unconscious and they are alone and cannot be removed from that environment that they're in.
Urging you to stay protected. In Lexington, Amelia Lee, WKYT.
Carbon monoxide detectors retail between $20 and $40. This story is new at noon. A Kentucky family is still seeking justice more than 40 years after their loved one was murdered. Patricia Vance and her boyfriend, David Omer, were found murdered in Garrett County in 1985. Randy Height has been on death row since 1994. Vance's son, David, says he doesn't understand why no death warrant's been signed. The last execution that happened in Kentucky was in 2008. And more than 20 people remain on death row. Vance says the pain of losing his mother is as real today as it was when it happened when he was 9. He says he attended Height's second trial in 1994 and vividly remembers it.
I was face to face with that man, and all I seen in his eyes was black darkness. No remorse, no nothing.
Vance says Height has never apologized to him or his family, but he's been told that Height completed his education while in prison, even helped other inmates with their appeals. A lawsuit alleging abuse in Kentucky's juvenile justice system is unraveling. The case involves a teenage girl, now 20, who has disappeared. Her attorney is asking to withdraw, saying he can't find her. He says she may be homeless or in a psychiatric facility in Indiana. The lawsuit claims the girl was held in a filthy isolation cell in 2022, mocked and neglected. The Department of Juvenile Justice denies mistreatment. A spokeswoman previously stated the girl should not have been in a detention facility due to her severe mental illness. The U.S. Justice Department is investigating Kentucky's juvenile detention centers. We do have a safety alert for you this afternoon. Bardstown police need help identifying a burglar. You cannot see the person's face in this video, but police are hoping that you might recognize the white hoodie or the burglar's gait or his mannerisms. The person broke into and burglarized Crumb's drugstore the morning of November 22nd around 5:30 a.m. If you know who that could be or have any information, call Bardstown Police. Also new at noon, a new partnership has expanded access to specialized pediatric care in Pikeville. The Pikeville Medical Center's Medu Children's Hospital announced that they joined the UK Golisano Children's Hospital affiliate network. With that partnership, pediatric specialists in clinical care will come to Eastern Kentucky, reducing the need for families to travel long distances for consistent care. Leaders with Pikeville Medical Center say the reduction in distance is key. PMC's president and CEO says it's the most accessible level of pediatric care Eastern Kentucky's ever seen. For more information about services and referrals, you can contact PMC or UK Golisano. Community activist Divine Karama is making a final push for coat donations to keep Kentucky's kids warm this winter. He is the founder of the nonprofit Believing in Forever, Inc. And every year he holds a coat drive. This year his request was pretty big. He wanted to collect 2,300 coats to go to kids in more than 50 central and eastern Kentucky schools before they start their winter breaks. Over the last few weeks, he's gotten pretty creative getting the word out. He performed outside for 50 hours straight. And as of today, he's just about 300 coats short of meeting his goal. He's asking for monetary donations only so he can go buy the sizes of coats that they need more of right now.
How could this not warm your heart, right? It just reminds us of what it's all about, which is humanity, making sure every kid gets a coat and stays warm during the winter.
He says he wants all donations collected by December 10th. If you're interested in making a donation as an individual or a company, you can find a link to do so inside this story in the WKYT News app. And don't forget that after WKYT News at noon, you can join Buzz Baker on the Afternoon Buzz. Today, he's going to sit down with Matt Stein, the father of the newly appointed UK head football coach, Will Stein. He tells Buzz that Stein brings a chip on his shoulder to the program. He's been with him ever since he first took the field himself.
And one of the things was, look, you know, it's because he was always the smallest kid on every team.
I bet he would.
And yeah, and everybody always made a point about that. But I told him a long time ago, it's not how big you are, it's how big you play.
Well, you can catch that full interview on WKYT Plus or on any streaming device. The University of Kentucky football program is making the new head coach's philosophy a centerpiece. UK filed a trademark for the phrase, "Feed the studs." That is a saying that Coach Stein has used for a few years now regarding his offense. It means you get the best players the ball as much as possible. You can expect to see that phrase on apparel and game day merchandise soon. The UK men's basketball team is back in action tonight. We're just hours from tip-off. The Cats will take on the 11th ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs in a nationally televised game. It's at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. It starts at 7. You can watch it on ESPN. Most American odds makers currently have the Zags as a 4-point favorite. If you want to go, Ticketmaster's cheapest tickets currently sit at about $50 a person. And the UK women's volleyball team is hosting the second round of the NCAA tournament at Memorial Coliseum. The Cats are taking on UCLA at 7 tonight after knocking off Wofford in straight sets. That game will be streamed live on ESPN+. And if you want to go, Ticketmaster's cheapest general admission tickets for that game are currently $24. Coming up on WKYT News at noon, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth remains under scrutiny after a controversial attack on what the department says was a Venezuelan drug ship.
And we're tracking some cold air locked in, maybe a couple more snow chances along the way. We'll have it all in just a few minutes.
There's nothing more exciting than finding that dream.
For over 1 million students.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faces intensifying questions in Washington over the Trump administration's strikes on alleged drug boats and a Pentagon watchdog report into this use of the messaging app Signal. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
The U.S. military announced a 20-second strike on an alleged drug boat Thursday, killing 4 people the administration identifies as narco-terrorists. It comes as Operation Southern Spear faces increased scrutiny on Capitol Hill, with lawmakers questioning Navy Admiral Frank Bradley Thursday about a second strike on a boat in September that killed 2 survivors of an initial attack. Congressman Jim Himes, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, was among those shown unedited footage of the incident.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. You have 2 individuals in clear distress, without any means of locomotion, with a destroyed vessel, who were killed by the United States.
But Republican Tom Cotton, who chairs the Senate Intelligence Committee, called the strikes lawful.
I saw 2 survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs down for the United States, back over, so they could stay in the fight.
Lawmakers from both parties said Admiral Bradley told them Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth did not give the order to, quote, kill them all, as was reported by the Washington Post.
The White House has made clear President Trump remains confident in Secretary Hegseth, even as some Democratic lawmakers call for him to resign, especially in light of a new Pentagon Inspector General report.
The report found Hegseth did not comply with Defense Department policies when he used his personal cell phone and the messaging app Signal to relay sensitive military information about an operation in Yemen in March to other top administration officials. The report also found Hegseth's actions created a risk to operational security that could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. Hegseth described the report as a total exoneration, saying no classified information was shared. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The report noted Secretary Hegseth has the authority to declassify information. It also said based on its reviews, some of the details shared matched information sent as secret.
Now, WKYT First Alert Weather with meteorologist Jen Caldwell.
That's kind of ugly, isn't it? Winter still showing up on Pine Mountain. Still dreary, still snowy, and visibility is, of course, down. That's out in Letcher County. And you can certainly see that they got a decent amount this go around. And that's all from this particular set. This isn't from before, because they didn't really get a lot with that last round. They did get some. They did transition over. But this was from what we had out there last night and early this morning. The road's clear, though, at least, right? I still wouldn't trust it. It might be a little bit slick. Here in Lexington, we've been dry for a while. We didn't get anything from this last go-around. We didn't expect much in the first place, but we are on that drier side. Very dreary, though, from that tower cam view. You okay over there? I know I'm leaving, and I know this is the last time you're going to watch me do the weather. I know you're sad and choked up. I get it. I get it. We look at the current conditions. We've got 30 degrees in Lexington right now. 30, winds out of the west-northwest, 3. That's not really causing anything. And we've got Gatton Park with snow still on the ground. Temperatures. 30 degrees in Georgetown, 30 in Lexington, 32 in Danville. It's a little bit warmer in Harlan, for example, 38 degrees, but it's still pretty active in that area because those high elevations. Now, where they measure that temperature, it's a little lower, but you know, those higher spots, you run into that. Wintry precipitation that continues, at least that mess. Nothing out there left. Let's go beyond. Let's look right into the heart of this weekend, because we get into your Sunday, we've got a system dropping in from the northwest. You've heard us talk about these for years. Clipper type system. That'll come swinging in. It's going to bring some rain, and then it's going to bring some snow. And I think it has a shot at bringing you some accumulation too. Now, is it widespread? Is it a big deal? This moment, if I had to put it all out there, I'd say no, but it could at least accumulate some. But give it a couple more runs. Sometimes these do a little bit better in the closer range stuff, especially when you're talking about a system like that. Snowfall potential from it, just looking at it, an inch or so, which is more than some of you have had this whole time. But what's happening after this is all this cold air that's loaded up across Canada is going to start making some runs into the lower 48. These cold shots indicate every time you see one coming, there's a system that's bringing it to us. Well, every time that happens, it's going to obviously get colder, but you could also set up for some more wintry weather. A quick spike in temperatures will be out ahead of one toward the end of next week, and that also has some wintry potential. I think that's some rain with it at first, because 40 degrees on Wednesday, and I might be a little conservative on that. Whoa. Yeah, 40 might be warmer than that.
You can't be throwing out temperatures like that.
I know. And then, of course, it goes back down to the 20s. Big swing.
Oh, boy.
Big bumps.
A lot to watch there.
Yeah, it sure is.
Coming up next on WKYT News at noon, we often see an increase in loneliness, especially around the holidays. The negative health consequences of being lonely and how to fight it. Next in Better Living.
Join us 30. On WKYT.
Let's take a look at your lottery jackpots. Tomorrow's Powerball jackpot, $820 million. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot, $50 million. And checking stocks today. The Dow is up more than 70 points. Well, this time of year can be difficult for people struggling with loneliness, an issue that's grown in recent years. One woman was able to overcome feeling alone. Christian Benavides has details in Better Living.
Delray Beach, Florida resident Clemencia Carroll says she knows what it feels like to be lonely, particularly around the holidays.
Life and socially, everything is all about the happiness and the this and the present, the family. And when you don't have that, it hits you hard.
Carol, who is 59, struggled with loneliness for the past 15 years. She lived far from family members, and when she felt alone, she started to distance herself from loved ones.
You feel hopeless, you feel worthless.
40% of Americans 45 and older are lonely, according to a new AARP survey. That's 5% higher than the last time the survey was conducted in 2018.
People are reporting fewer friends and less involvement in groups and things of that nature.
The key predictors of loneliness include smaller social networks, a declining number of friends, and mental health diagnoses.
According to the survey, there's also a gender gap, with men reporting they are significantly lonelier than women.
When we ask men about their participation in community activities, they seem to have less involvement, less people in their life.
Finding community can be key in overcoming loneliness. For Carol, therapy, moving closer to family, and opening up her social circle has helped.
Try to find somebody, anything that will lift you up, a friend, a neighbor that will give you a purpose.
She now spends part of her free time doing volunteer work and caring for her 2 rescue dogs, which has given her a sense of community and purpose. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Delray Beach, Florida.
Loneliness rates were also higher in rural versus urban areas, as well as in lower socioeconomic communities. We'll keep it right here on WKYT News at noon. We'll have a final check of your forecasts next.
Valley National Bank. Bank better.
Well, today marks Jim Caldwell's very last day on air with us here at WKYT, and this, the #1 news at noon, his very last newscast as well. You have done so many newscasts here, Jim, at KYT, and then, of course, in Hazard at WYMT as well. We just want you to know we are so grateful for the viewers that you've served in Central and, of course, in Eastern Kentucky. Our managers wanted to show that appreciation.
Look at this.
For you.
How about that, huh?
24 years of service. If I'd have just stuck it out 4 more months, it'd been 25.
Right. Well, you still have time.
I guess. Well, I mean,
but we're not getting an extra bourbon barrel. That's the only one you get there.
One and done on that one. That's heavy, brother.
That is fantastic.
Isn't that great?
Oh my gosh.
Listen, we're going to give you a chance to talk a little bit too, if you like. We've got some photos to share.
Well, if I talk now, I might cry, and I've tried to avoid that all day, y'all.
No. Well, here are those pictures that we showed you this
morning.
morning.
That's baby Jim.
And look at that head of hair. Wasn't it handsome?
Well, it was a little bit still.
It wasn't much. Listen, there we are, through the years. This place, when I left, when I decided I was going to leave, I told our managers, our news directors, Robert Thomas, and our general manager, Jamie Kawaja, I told them that when we would come to Lexington, Dad and Mom, we'd come down Winchester Road. They'd always cut at whatever, even before Man of War was finished.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they would always say, now right there's where Sam Dick works, the newsman. And, I said, years ago, I thought, well, it'd be nice to work there.
And you got to work with
look at that.
And then I got to work with Sam, and I got to work with you. Yeah. And it's been an honor. It's been a real honor serving the people. And that's what we do. We serve people. It's not about whatever you think it is. It's
right.
not
it's not at all.
It's about serving. It's about helping people and guiding them through severe weather, just like we did back in May.
That was our last time.
That was our last time, and probably, to me, it was the most emotionally moving one. I don't know why. Maybe deep down I knew maybe it was the last one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was very moving for me, and I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss all of these people behind the scenes that you don't get to hear from. I love y'all, and I love all of you that have watched for all these years.
Well, we're grateful for you.
Thank you.
Best of luck, my
Give me a hug, you two.